I lost consciousness, but I felt light come. It's as if I felt light come and surround me, almost like it was comforting me, like a blanket. It was tangible. I felt light come, and it felt as if I was rising above the accident scene. And suddenly I could breathe. The pain was gone. In fact, I wondered, how can I be okay? But I felt great. I felt very much alive. And yet what was happening is my soul was leaving my body, if you will. But here I was in this light, very conscious, very aware. And as I was in that light, my wife, who I knew was deceased at the scene, I knew she was gone. Suddenly she was there in that light with me. And she didn't have injuries. She was gorgeous. She was radiant. She was beautiful. And yet she was there, but she was emphatic. She kept saying, Jeff, you can't stay. You can't stay. You've got to go back. You've got to go back. And we literally had this conversation about, if I stayed with her, our oldest son would be orphaned. And, you know, he was only 7 years old at the time. And we had this, we made a deal. I agreed to come back. Now, somehow she knew she couldn't come back, but she was emphatic that I come back and that I couldn't be there. I couldn't stay there. And that was an interesting, it was an interesting conversation and choice. I didn't have to figure out how to come back. Once I made the decision, it was almost like, you know, like I was whisked away, and here I was moving about a very busy level 1 trauma center, an emergency room hospital. Working on me, 2 of the members of that medical team had a profound experience, which they shared and talked about. In fact, Dr. Jeff O'Driscoll has written a book about his experiences in the ER. But what he recounts is, as the team was working on me, going, you know, addressing all of my injuries, he came into that operating room, that emergency room, and he says that he saw a woman. He saw my wife. He saw her spirit standing in the air above me while the crew worked on my body. One of the nurses saw the same thing. And the doctor was very aware. He's very gifted this way. He had this happen in other circumstances where he'd seen spirits or souls in the ER, but here was my wife, and he knew that was my wife. He had never met her. We were strangers to him. But as he recounted to me, he said she communicated with him. And I said, what did she say? And he said she simply thanked us for all we were doing to save your life. And I burst into tears and said, of course she did. And yet it made so much sense. The doctor had no idea, you know, that I had made this deal, that I had had the experience. He didn't know me at all.